Welcome, everyone. Good to see you this morning. If you didn't know, I am filling in for Chairman O'Malley this morning, who is not at this meeting. At this time, Secretary, would you please call the roll?
Okay. Trustee Atkins.
Here.
Trustee Kanata.
Here.
Trustee Carroll. Trustee Jenkins.
Here.
Trustee Luck. Trustee McAllister Brooks.
Here.
Trustee May.
Here.
Trustee Mueller.
Here.
Trustee O'Malley. Trustee Rayburn. 6 present.
We have a quorum. Please note that there are items in your agenda that need to be adopted. Before I call for a vote, are there any items you wish to be extracted from our consent agenda? With no extractions, I move for adoption of the agenda, including the consent agenda items. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Our agenda is adopted. The minutes from the March 15th, 2019 board meeting were circulated in advance of the meeting. Are there any corrections or additions to the minutes? Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
Yes. So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The minutes are approved. At this time, I'd like to recognize President White to introduce our campus spotlight.
So, every board meeting, we have take an opportunity to introduce some program, initiative, important activity undertaken by someone on campus or someone in state leadership having influence in higher ed. I could not be more excited today about the Campus Spotlight because the theme of today's meeting really is all about students, their success, what they do, what they bring to the campus. What we try to do is serve our students, but make no mistake, they bring a lot of value to our campus and make us who we are. So today we're actually going to show you an initiative of significance to our community. And I want to start by introducing some guests that we have with us who you'll find out are involved in this Campus Spotlight. But first, I want to introduce people who had a vision. And I have to say, the first person I want to introduce is Judge Ken Goebel. If you'll stand for a minute, let me just introduce you. Judge Goebel works with the Veterans Treatment Court, works with the Teen Court. He is a leader in our community, not just in terms of judicial actions and decisions, but he's involved in judicial reform and also reform for people who've made mistakes, who have an ability to change their lives for the better. Thank you for being here.
You left out that I was an Austin P alum.
Oh, that's right. He is an Austin P alum. He is. But I wanted him to stand up first because he came with an idea maybe a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, met with our senior leadership team, and he said, I want to do something significant in this community for our young people. And you're going to hear about how that came to fruition. We also have his team, and as I call your names, if you'll stand up, we have Takita Fields, Darlene Austin, Ed Moss, and they were working with the judge on the city side, county side. And then we have our own team led by Dr. Jeff Thompson. And Dr. Thompson, if you and your compatriots, Jacqueline Lyons and Amir McCain, will come to take your place at the table. This particular initiative is something that was really put together by General Scott Brower. Wave your hand if you would, General Brower, with the assistance of Vice President Whiteside. And so I've set this up, but all the fun stuff and all the important information is going to come from the team to my left. So if you'll tell us about Project 2010.
Okay, when I was first asked to come and speak about this, I was excited to do so. It's a very powerful, simplistic, but visionary program. And when you think about 2010 vision, first question that comes to mind perhaps is, why 2010? Well, let me illustrate. Without these spectacles, I go from 2010 to something terrible. Any of you with spectacles, glasses can relate to that. So 2010 vision is a program designed to help correct kind of figurative vision. If you think of an adolescent with still developing prefrontal cortex, they tell us, the educators do, and maybe some issues at home, maybe the absence of a parent, and then you consider maybe some other environmental factors that might be involved, and then you throw in maybe a couple of bad choices, you have a need for some corrective vision. 2010 Vision is a program that's been percolating in the mind of, as Dr. President White spoke, the Honorable Judge Goebel, for some time now. I think he shared it with this vision with President White, and it began to percolate in her heart and mind as well. And then Mr. Moss, who's been introduced, began to develop this program. And then I was privileged to be able to come on board. I'm humbled and privileged to be able to come on board and to play a small part in this. And Mr. Moss kind of developed this, and I was privileged to be on Team 2010, I'll call it. Team 2010 is a group of people from both Austin P and the group that was introduced from the Montgomery County court system that kind of put the bones and flesh onto this. Really, we came up with 5 things that we thought would make this program effective and as safe as possible. And the first thing had to do with the foundation of training. Students in my law and social work class received training from both the court and in my class. So that's the first thing, a foundation of training. Secondly, we used a 2-to-1 dynamic. 2 mentors for every juvenile from the court system, and that has its own accountability built into that, of course. And then 3, we had on-campus engagement. All of these meetings took place on our beautiful campus. And why not? It makes sense. We have a beautiful campus. We have a lot of activities in which the students can get involved, and it really made sense to do that there. And then we also have really ongoing accountability. My students in my law and social work class were to report every week their activity with their mentee. And we got those reports and we forwarded those to the court system. And then finally, we have what I call kind of a mobile troubleshooting unit, in that anybody had questions or needed to run something by somebody, we all worked as a team. And even the mentees had that opportunity with their mentors, and the mentors had that with me and some of the other officials on the team. So it really worked well. I think we all felt like it rolled out very successfully, rising above expectations. And I've heard in life that happiness is the extent to which you meet or kind of go above expectations. I think we did. So I'm here to just briefly talk about the educational piece for my students. I think it was a great experience for my students. I think they learned a lot. But when I think about education, I think our job is to impart knowledge. We do live in the information age, and some say, well, students can get information, but I still think it's our job to transfer some knowledge and to build in kind of a base of hunger for lifelong learning, helping students to gain tools on what to do to continue to learn. But I think there's something else about education. I think there's something about education that longs to move beyond just the information transfer, but giving students an opportunity to practice their craft. We call it service in our age. So what I love about this is they get to practice their craft. All that we teach them, all that we've taught them throughout their entire tenure as social work students, they get to practice before they go into field. It's kind of like a pre-field practicum. And I think service learning is something that I would like to be more involved with. It was a big success, but I don't want you to take my word for it. I want you to hear from some people who are here today that can testify to what happened, and they can kind of flesh and bones on this for you today. So first, I have Jacqueline Lyons, who was in my law and social work class, and she's going to talk to you and introduce her mentee.
Hi, I'm Jacqueline. I am a non-traditional student here at Austin P in the social work department. I am a mother. I joined the U.S. military in 2009 from Chicago, Illinois, to escape a life that really was not that great. When I initially came to Austin P, I went into nursing. I quickly realized that with the change that I wanted to make from what I saw early on in life, nursing was not for me, that I wanted to work more long-term with people, and so I switched over to social work, and since I've been here, it's been great until I came to law class, and then it just, all the stars aligned for me. I had a vision as a very young girl as I watched a lot of my friends go to prison, specifically juvenile detention, which really just pushed my friends further and further back and away from good people, away from a good surrounding, and ultimately they ended up in gangs, violence, or on drugs. So I knew from a very early age, from specific movies I watched like Freedom Writers or Dangerous Minds, that I wanted to be that teacher, and I wanted to be directly involved with these kids and show them that there's a way out, that there are people who care. And unfortunately, in a lot of areas, that is lacking for a lot of young children. So when I came to law class, Dr. Thompson immediately was really excited on the first day, and he told us all about the 2010 Vision program, and my eyes lit up, stars aligned. I was just extremely excited about doing this. And a few weeks in, we got our packet of who our mentee would be. And I remember thinking to myself, this is going to be challenging, because one of the initial questions they asked my mentee, Amir, was, do you want a mentee? The original answer was no. And so I knew, me and the other mentor that I worked with, his name is Tyler, he could not be here, but we knew that it was going to be a challenge, and immediately we decided that we needed to establish trust. And I was really excited because I had a lot of experience that I can directly relate to him that would kind of connect us already. From when I first met him, we went from, if I end up homeless, this is a quote from him, if I end up homeless, then it is what it is. And I watched him with very little confidence, and I say that lightly because I saw such a promising future in him by the way he spoke, by things that he told me about his friends, the people he wanted to be around. He had goals. He just didn't know how to achieve them. He thought nobody was there to help him get there. He thought college was not in his reach. In just the few weeks that we worked with him, I built a very trusting relationship with him, hopefully one that will last long term to see him through where he goes next. By the end of it, I saw a complete turnaround. I saw a kid who actually had goals. He wasn't just making irrational decisions of, I'm leaving Clarksville and getting out of here and I'm starting my life somewhere else. Now he wants to go to college, and he wants to have a job that is going to give him the financial ability to do so and get out safely, where he's going to be able to care for himself. And most importantly, the biggest turnaround I saw from him is he totally had an interest in college and actually started thinking about his life and thinking about what career he would want to end up in next. And so he enrolled. He actually applied for Austin P, and he enrolled in Nashville State University. And so he's awaiting that next. He found a job. So actually being able to get out and do exactly what I wanted to do, exactly why I got into social work, and then the stars aligned thanks to Judge Global, his team over here, and Dr. Thompson. I was just in the right place at the right time. And it was not coincidental. I think it was fate for me, and I'm really happy to be here, but more so happy that there's a program now for these kids that will actually put them in a better path rather than putting them further and further behind. And I'm so thankful to everybody who is making that happen, because it's a long time coming. This is Amir McCain. He was my mentee, and he'll be speaking next.
Okay, so I'm going to try to keep this short, because last time I was at this meeting, it was a really long speech, and I started crying, and then other people started crying. So basically, when I started off this, I didn't have really any friends. I had goals and directions I wanted to do, like things with my life. I always knew I wanted to be a little bit bigger than what life had set out for me, because naturally, growing up with the circumstances I'm under, people don't expect you to make it out. People don't expect you to do a lot of things with your life. And so I had goals. I just like she said, I didn't know how to reach them. So I'd gotten into a lot of trouble. I didn't think I was going to make it anywhere. I didn't think I was going to be able to make it out of Clarksville, because nobody was really helping me or depending on me. So when they told me about this program, I told them I didn't want to mentor, because I thought, going into this, I thought this was a program that had been done a million times before, not knowing that this was a brand new program. And Well, basically, when they came to me, I was actually, if you ask Jackie, I was very sheltered and cut off from them for a little bit because I didn't think they really. I thought this was just a paycheck to them. Then after a good amount of time, Jackie showed me that she had faith in me, that she trusted me, that she like wanted to see me do better with no other motive other than to see me do better, and like that like made me choke up at times, really, because like growing up, I didn't have anybody to help support me or motivate me or anything like that. And it was hard. Like it was really hard growing up without anybody to help you. And basically, I don't know how to go where to go from this point. This program is like it's a great program, honestly. Honestly, like I could see this program working for so many other kids because at the end of this, I had friends that I trusted and could talk to and could go to if I had anything going on, anything happening. I told them about basically everything. They showed me. I didn't know what college was, to be honest. They showed me like the amazing things that come with being a college student and like actually progressing further in life and in my future. And they completely inspired me to go like do something. So yes, this program is like amazing. I hope we can do this with more people. This is a great program, honestly. And that's my piece. So thank you.
Question. I've got a question, Amir. Can you tell us some of the things that you did together that helped you feel, be more trusting and more excited about your future?
Oh, it was like a lot. Honestly, I didn't want to do anything when I started this. And then Jackie was like, no way. We had, there was like this big rally outside of the building one time. There was this guy, he was just standing there, just spouting a bunch of hate speech, like a lot of hate speech. And Tyler had actually asked me beforehand, he was like, how do you feel about the First Amendment? And I was like, I feel like everyone should have the right to say what they want to say whenever they want to say it, no matter who's around. But I walked outside. And like when I walked outside, there was this guy just basically preaching like God doesn't want you to be gay or any of those things like that. Like, basically saying like that a bunch of things were wrong under the circumstances of religion, and everybody was out there basically like yelling at him, giving him their attention, stuff like that. And it was like, it just gave me a nice little perspective on how free speech works and like who has the right to free speech and like what they can say and what they can't say. And that was one of the things they showed me that really like it inspired me when to go to college because things were happening. Growing up in Clarksville, a lot of things aren't really happening. So I didn't know things like that actually happened around here. And then they showed me some of the campus life, just students, the nice people that work there. There's amazing people at Austin P, honestly. There's like a bunch of amazing people there. The students, the food's pretty good. I ate a lot. I ate a lot. So there was that. What else? Besides the students, campus life, and besides like walking around and just doing stuff, they would like talk to me. They would just talk to me, and that's really what I was like there for. I was interested in like speaking, and then they showed me a bunch of stuff that got me ready and inspired to go to college. Like I did not want to go to college before I got into this mentor program, and now that I am in this mentor program, like college is like the main thing I want to do, like out of everything. So there's that.
Awesome.
There may be questions for the judge or somebody or the others too. I don't know.
Who has a question? I've got tons of questions. Who else has got a question?
Love that.
You mentioned earlier that your friends, people you grew up with and been around, what's their take on what you're doing?
So basically, before this, I didn't really have any friends with like one or two. because I was really much I always went against the grain because everybody was doing one thing, I would go do another thing, but somehow I'd get caught up in what everybody else was doing. But when I told my friends about it, they were like, "Oh, you're like doing good. You're trying to turn your life around, all that." Like some people would almost criticize it in a sense because they thought like maybe I was abandoning them in a sense, like abandoning what we grown up to know because I was trying to go to college. I was trying to turn my life around, which is not something you see often with young black teenagers. Honestly, you don't see them trying to turn their life around. So there was like some pushback, and I told them like if you guys really like put your mind to it, if you really think about what you're gonna do, you can go to college, honestly. And like it's not as bad as everyone thinks it is. It's not as challenging as everyone thinks it is. Obviously, college is challenging, but like getting in, applying, there's a million things that college actually offers. And so I got one or two of them to think about going, and that's really how their reaction was to it initially, just like almost distrust in a way. But after a little bit of talking and just like running them over that I ate a lot of food, they were convinced that they wanted to go to college.
That's how we got him talking.
Yeah, the food. That is how y'all got me talking. Like,
Yes.
How long have, I'm sorry. How long have you been in the program? How long?
Jackie, how long is this? It's been like
I initially contacted him February 11th.
February 11th, and
Okay,
then
okay.
It
yeah, it's
ended
been,
at the end of the semester, and we have continued and remained in contact since then.
So a lot of progress in a short amount of time, and that's
Yes, ma'am.
super. That's good.
My question is, now that you're planning on going to college, and this is really a new frontier, I think at any stage in any student's life, going to college is a new thing, and there are a lot of challenges that are going to come your way. Do you think that your program implemented any sort of plans for you to take on the college load, studying, the late nights, just the new experiences that college encompasses?
there was actually a good bit of a lot of the points that you guys bring up. They probably talked to me about because I didn't want to talk about them, so they would tell me to talk about them. So basically things like dorms, homework, all that stuff. They told me like it was going to be a little bit more difficult now that I was getting into college, and they told me like you should probably be prepared for this. And going in, I didn't really want to. So, and after a good little bit of realizing like that this is the logical next step to do what I need to do in my life to get where I need to be in my life, I realized that if no matter how much work they throw at me, no matter how much pressure, no matter how much challenge they throw at me, I have to be prepared. And when it comes my way, like I just have to tackle it, because the only way to move is forward and through things. If it's a challenge, if you have a challenge, you move through it or forward. And that's how I felt about everything they told me about like the pressures of college and basically preparing for it. I mean, whenever we walked around and like whenever they talk, like we talked to some of the other students, Tyler actually introduced me to some of the people who worked there that were also students, and they just told me about everything that happened. They were like, it's gonna be hard because everything new is like difficult. So they told me that, and I told them like I'm prepared. I've never been one to shy away from challenge. I always see it as like a logical step for growth, and that's about all for college prep for that they taught me. That's not. I wouldn't say that's it. That's a good amount of what I can explain.
Yes, Judge Go, please do. Excuse me, Judge, could you come sit and use the microphone, because we're streaming and everyone not here could also hear you.
So I wanted to give you all a little background to put things in context. Elisa told you that I preside over the Veterans Treatment Court, and one of its key components is mentorship. We marry up veterans with veterans. And in my juvenile court, I would see people that had gone to state custody because of their delinquent acts. And while in state custody, they thrived. They would make straight A's or A's and B's. And we wouldn't get in trouble. And then within a month or two of coming back home, they were in trouble again. And I thought, there's got to be a better way. We've got to show these young men and women there's another option. And the mentoring is what the component was, and that's when I started talking to you. I thought if we married up young juveniles, young men and women, with students, most of them close to their age. Now, Austin P has a lot of non-traditional students, but most of the mentors are relatively close in age, and they can talk to the juveniles where they won't listen to me because I'm almost 60. So I asked Ed Moss. I told him about my idea. I asked him, he was my youth service officer at the time, I asked him to look around and see what he could come up with. And he's the guy. He's the one that put all this together. I had the seed. I planted it with him, and he grew it. And then we brought it to Austin P, and you guys joined in. Our the county and Austin P legal teams checked all that stuff out. And then Jeff said, let's do it. And we did it. Now we're expanding it. I think the psychology department is going to join in as well. I want to end with this, and I'm going to try not to get emotional because I cried like a baby when it happened. I had a guy come in last week wanting to get his court costs waived for his juvenile record. He's 24 years old. And he told me the last time he saw me in my court, he went through that door and he ported to the side door, and that's where the kids go to detention. He just finished his master's degree, and he was going to law school this fall. And I think we're going to have more stories like that because, and what's so great about it is the students, they bought into it right away. Right away. And that's why we're doing so well. And I really think this is going to become bigger than just us. I really think when we get the word out of the successes that we're having, and not every case is going to be a success, but if we have 4 or 5 in a class of 20, that's great, because we're not going to have that kind of success through the traditional court system. So, thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you. Dr. White.
Thank you so much for being willing to share today. I just wanted to make a couple more comments. One, this was a great experience for Amir because, son, you actually made it a priority to make some good decisions for the future. And it's so clear when you're talking the promise that you have, but our other colleagues at the table helped you see the promise that was already there. Jackie, your heart for others is so apparent. I'm so proud of you, and you represent the other 10,953 students here who also will do fabulous things and change the world for better. I am grateful to Dr. Thompson and then also to Mr. Moss and I know Mr. Moss and Miss Austin and Miss Fields. I looked to make sure I've got the names correct, but aren't you all Austin P grads, or alumni? So yay, I'm really happy about that. So they're changing the world. And you know, the easy thing is to come and teach your class and give a test and go home. And people a lot of times think that's what faculty do. That's not what faculty do. Faculty are involved with their students, and they work on programs to get students prepared for life, to take their careers, and they spend a whole lot of time teaching outside of the classroom and being willing to do that. It's easier to come to class and take a test than it is to be involved in this program, Jacqueline, but you did it. It's easier, Judge, just to hear the cases and send them on, but you didn't do that, and neither did your team. So I feel really good about our community. Thank you so much for what you're doing to make us better. You have one more?
Yes, Amir.
I don't know if this is like my last comment. I'd like to make one more comment, and really, I'd like to like thank everybody that was involved in this, that like brought me here together, like Judge Goble and everybody sitting right here. They were like, I didn't think there was anybody behind this. I thought this was just like a school thing, and then they brought me to the first meeting, and they showed me like all the people who were like really like supporting me and there for me, and like when I saw all these people, I teared up, and then when they had me come up there, I broke and cried. And then Jackie was there, Mr. Thompson, Dr. Thompson was there. And like, I really just want to thank them for like giving me this opportunity, because it's like amazing. I don't want to use the word awesome. It feels a little immature. It is awesome though. So like, I just want to like say thank y'all like again, because like y'all are like great people. Like for real, you guys are great people for like actually having faith in like students and kids who want to do things like that. So if you guys support this, I promise this program will like do amazing things for a bunch of other people. And that's, once again, that's my piece. So, you know.
Ms. Annette could not be with us. She had a big role to play as well as the court system.
Yes.
Yeah, I pointed out Ed, but everybody that's been involved with this, both on the juvenile court side and the OSP side, really taking ownership.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Amir, I'm going to have to say that was awesome. I like your word. We're going to take a 5-minute break. Welcome back to our board meeting. Before we move on, I'd like to officially welcome our brand new trustee, student trustee, Stacy McAllister Brooks. Welcome.
I'm honored to be here. Thank you for having me. Thank you for appointing me. Austin P is full of amazing students, and I got to see the roster of all the other students that were vying for this, and I'm just honored. I really am honored that you guys saw the potential in me.
Welcome. Okay, next on our agenda, any other comments? Next on our agenda, I'd like to recognize Trustee Jenkins of the Academic Policies and Programs Student Life Committee to give us a report on the committee meeting yesterday.
Thank you for the opportunity to present my report from yesterday's Academic Policies and Programs Student Life Board Committee meeting. The committee reviewed and approved the following action items, which you approved today by consent: the termination of the BS English, the termination of BA in Psychological Science. The committee also reviewed and approved the following action items, which will be presented to you for action in today's meeting: consideration of tenure appointments, consideration of tenure upon appointment of Dr. Nancy King Sanders, petition for the right to appeal promotion decision Dr. Robert Halleman, consideration of elevation of existing media technology concentration within BA/BS Communication Arts into separate major of BA/BS Communication Media, consideration of student conduct and disciplinary sanctions rule. That concludes my report. I move that the board approve the minutes of the June 6 Academic Policies and Programs Student Life Board Committee as written.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes are approved.
You have before you a copy of the list of faculty recommended for tenure. By direction of the committee, I move to approve the list of faculty recommended for tenure.
Is there a second? Any discussion? There's no further discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries.
You have before you a copy of the recommendation to award tenure upon appointment to the new Executive Director of the Center for Teaching and Learning, Dr. Nancy King Sanders, who began employment on April 1st, 2019. Your binder includes a copy of Dr. King Sanders' CV. By direction of the committee, I move that the recommendation to award tenure upon appointment for Dr. Nancy King Sanders be approved as written.
So we've heard the motion.
Consideration of proposed elevation of existing media technology concentration within BABS Communication Arts into separate major of BABS Communications Media. You have before you a copy of the proposed elevation of existing media technology concentration within BABS Communication Arts into separate major of BABS Communication Media. By direction of the committee, I move that the proposed elevation of existing media technology concentration within BABS Communication Arts into separate major of BABS Communication Media be approved as written.
So you've heard the motion. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries.
Consideration of student conduct and disciplinary sanctions rule. You have before you a copy of the student conduct and disciplinary sanctions rule. By direction of the committee, I move that the student conduct and disciplinary sanctions rule be approved as written.
You've heard the motion. Do we have any conversation or discussion? Hearing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Trustee Atkins?
Yes.
Trustee Canada?
Yes.
Trustee Jenkins?
Yes.
Trustee May?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
5 yeses.
This concludes my report.
Thank you. I would now like to call upon myself to deliver the audit committee report from yesterday. Yesterday, in the audit committee meeting, we listened to length limits, provide 3 different presentations, which were all informative items. We listened to an overview of the internal audit's fraud awareness program and investigation process. We listened to the internal audit reports released from February 19th, 2019 to May 10th, 2019, along with a list of outstanding audit recommendations. And third, we listened to an internal audit client satisfaction survey results for spring 2019. This concludes my report, and I move that we accept the minutes of the audit committee meeting held June 6, 2019 as written. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes are approved. Next, I'd like to turn the meeting over to Trustee Jenkins to discuss the Business and Finance Committee report. Atkins. I'm looking at Atkins. Trustee Atkins, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Canada. I appreciate having the opportunity to present the report from yesterday's Business and Finance Committee meeting. The committee reviewed and approved the following action items. A, consideration of a tuition increase for the 2019-2020 academic year. B, consideration of the estimated budget for the 2018-2019 fiscal year and proposed budget for the 2019-2020 fiscal year. C, consideration of the capital outlay and maintenance request for the 2020-2021 fiscal year. D, consideration of the Ostapi participation in the Clarksville Multipurpose Event Center. And E, consideration of revisions to policy 1.021, fees, charges, refunds, and fee adjustments. F, consideration of the use of university property rule. And G, consideration of classifying students in-state and out-of-state. And H, consideration of Rule 0240-05-01, traffic and parking regulations. These items will be presented for your review and action in a few minutes. The committee also reviewed the following information item: review of the university's organizational chart, During the university's budget cycle, the university organizational chart is reviewed and updated as appropriate. Mr. Robinson discussed the changes to the organizational chart with the committee. Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report, and I move that the board approve the minutes from the June 6th Business and Finance Committee meeting.
Is there a second? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The minutes are approved.
All right, thank you. Now, consideration of a tuition increase for the 2019-2020 academic year. You have before you a copy of the tuition increase for the 2019-2020 academic year. By direction of the committee, I move to approve the tuition increase for the 2019-2020 academic year.
Because this is a motion of the committee, we do not need a second. However, is there any discussion? If there's no discussion, Secretary, please call the roll.
Trustee Atkins.
All right, you also have before you a copy of the
Excuse me.
estimated,
We've got to
I'm
call the
calling
roll.
the roll.
I'm sorry,
We have to call the roll. Just wait for a second.
I got
Trustee
you.
Atkins.
yes.
Trustee Kanata.
Yes.
Trustee Jenkins. Yes. Trustee May. Yes. Trustee Mueller.
Yes.
5 yeses.
Now, go right ahead.
Pull my string.
There you go.
I'll take that back. That don't go in there. You have before you a copy of the estimated budget for the 2018-2019 fiscal year and the proposed budget for the fiscal 2019-2020 fiscal year. By direction of the committee, I move to approve the estimated budget for the 2018-2019 fiscal year and the proposed budget for the 2019-2020 fiscal year.
You have heard the motion related to the estimated budget for 2018-19 and the proposed budget for 2019-2020. Is there any discussion? If there's no discussion, Secretary, please call the roll.
Trustee Atkins.
Yes.
Trustee Kanata.
Yes.
Trustee Jenkins. Yes. Trustee May. Yes. Trustee Mueller.
Yes.
5 yeses.
Okay. Next, you have before you a copy of the capital outlay and maintenance request for the 2020 and 2021 fiscal year. By direction of the committee, I move to approve the capital outlay and maintenance request for the 2020 and 2021 fiscal year.
You have heard the motion. Is there any discussion? With no discussion, Secretary, please call the roll.
Trustee Atkins.
Yes.
Trustee Kanata.
Yes.
Trustee Jenkins. Yes. Trustee May. Yes. Trustee Mueller.
Yes.
5 yeses.
Next, you have before you a copy of the item for Austin Peay State University participation in the Clarksville Multipurpose Events Center. By direction of the committee, I move to approve the Austin Peay participation in the Clarksville Multipurpose Events Center.
You've heard the motion to consider participating in the Clarksville Multipurpose Event Center. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, Secretary, please call the roll.
Trustee Atkins.
Yes.
Trustee Kanata.
Yes.
Trustee Jenkins. Yes. Trustee May. Yes. Trustee Mueller.
Yes.
5 yeses.
You have before you a copy of the revisions to policy 1021, which covers fees, charges, refunds, and fee adjustments. By direction of the committee, I move to approve the revisions to policy 1021, fees, charges, refund, and fee adjustments.
You have heard the motion. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Trustee Atkins.
Yes.
Trustee Kanata.
Yes.
Trustee Jenkins. Yes. Trustee May.
Yes.
Trustee Mueller.
Yes.
5 yeses.
All right. Next, you have before you a copy of the use of the university property rule. By direction of the committee, I move to approve the use of university property rule.
You've heard the motion related to the consideration of use of university property. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Trustee Atkins.
Yes.
Trustee Kanata.
Yes.
Trustee Jenkins. Yes. Trustee May.
Yes.
Trustee Mueller.
Yes.
5 yeses.
All right. Next, you have before you a copy of the classifying students in-state and out-of-state rule. And by direction of the committee, I move to approve the classifying students in-state and out-of-state rule.
You've heard the motion related to consideration of classifying students, in-state and out-of-state rule. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Trustee Atkins?
Yes.
Trustee Canada?
Yes.
Trustee Jenkins? Yes. Trustee May?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
5 yeses.
And finally, you have before you a copy of the Rule 0240-05-01, Traffic and Parking Regulations. In the direction of the committee, I move to approve the Rule 0240-05-01, Traffic and Parking Regulations.
You've heard the motion to consider Rule 0240-05-01, Traffic and Parking Regulations. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Trustee Atkins?
Yes.
Trustee Canada?
Yes.
Trustee Jenkins? Yes. Trustee May?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
5 yeses.
Thank you, Billy. Trustee Atkins, you were busy. Busy day yesterday. Once again, I'd like to call upon myself to present the executive committee meeting yesterday. Thank you for the opportunity. Yesterday, the committee reviewed and approved the following action items. We approved and would consider the presidential performance evaluation for fiscal year 2018-19. We considered the revised presidential base compensation, performance evaluation, and incentive plan, and the president's base compensation for fiscal year 2019-20. Thirdly, we considered a policy 1010, appeals and appearances before the board. The above items will be presented for your review and action after the approval of the executive committee minutes. This concludes my report. I move the board approve the minutes from the June 6th executive committee meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion about the minutes from yesterday? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? The minutes from yesterday are approved. Next, we're going to consider the presidential performance evaluation for 2018 and 19. And before we begin, President White has asked to step out of the room. Thank you. You have before you the presidential performance evaluation for fiscal year 2018-19. By direction of the committee, I move that the board approve the presidential performance evaluation for fiscal year 2018-19. Pardon? And the incentive payment for 2018-19 as well. Because it's a motion of the committee, we do not need a second. However, is there any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. Next, we have the consideration of the presidential base compensation plan, the performance evaluation, and incentive plan for fiscal year 2019-20, and the determination of the president's base compensation amount for fiscal year 2019-20. You have before you the base compensation, performance plan, and incentive plan for fiscal year 2019 and 20. The committee also set the base compensation for fiscal year 2019-20. By direction of the committee, I move that the board approve the presidential base compensation, performance evaluation, and incentive plan for fiscal year 2019 and 20, and the base compensation amount for the fiscal year 2019 and 20. Is there any discussion?
Madam Chairman, if I may, just a comment. For those that wasn't in the executive committee meeting yesterday, I did, in doing the evaluation, had an opportunity to speak with Governor Lee. And one night, a couple of weeks ago, had another opportunity to speak with Mike Krause, executive or commissioner of the Tennessee Higher Education Commission. I've also spoken to County Mayor Jim Durrett and City Mayor Joe Pitts, along with all of the direct reports of President White through a questionnaire and an informal interview meeting with them. Everything is very positive, very high remarks from everybody. So I just want everybody to know that we covered all of our bases and checked.
Thank you. I'll have to say it was a very thorough evaluation, a very thorough process that you directed. So thank you for that. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor of the approval, say aye. Any opposed? The motion carries, and can we get President White back in the building? Welcome back.
Thank you.
It was all approved.
Oh, thank you. It's a little strange to put myself in timeout, but it's more comfortable.
Yes, very good. Thank you. Next on our agenda is the approval of the appeals and appearances before the board policy. You have Okay. Next on our agenda is a naming request. We're being asked to approve several awards to individuals who've demonstrated their commitment to Austin Peay. I'd like to introduce Lieutenant General Ron Bailey, Vice President for External Affairs, to provide information on these awards.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Let me take this opportunity to draw your attention to the bios that were included in your binders as we recognize these distinguished individuals. The first is the Philanthropist of the Year, and it's for Ms. Wilma Newton. It recognizes an individual who has provided significant financial support to the university. Ms. Newton is a graduate of Austin Peay, and through a transformative gift has provided a transformative gift to fund the significant renovations for the facility that will house the William E. and Sadeko Military Resource Center. Our next award is to recognize a leader through military service, and that's Mr. Jack Turner. We recognize an individual who has provided exceptional support and leadership to our military and the community. And then our third award is an award to recognize a governor who leads through service, and that's Mr. Ben Kimbrough Sr. Recognizes an individual who has provided many years of dedicated support and service to the university and the community. That concludes my brief.
Thank you. You've heard the explanation from General Bailey. We'll take these as a group. Is there a motion to approve Wilma Newton as APSU Philanthropist of the Year, Jack Turner as recipient of the Govs Who Lead Through Military Service Award, and there's one more.
Oh, excuse me.
And Ben Kimbrough Sr. as recipient of the Govs Who Lead Through Service Award. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Do we have a second? Thank you.
Wait to be asked that.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. This is just an informational item, but at our next meeting, when we have new board members, we will elect officers and make committee appointments. So trustees, be thinking about committees. At this time, I'd like to recognize Carol Clark. There she is. Assistant Vice President for Community and Government Relations. to give us a report on items of interest coming from the most recent legislative session of the Tennessee General Assembly.
Thank you, Vice Chair Kanata. There were more than 500 bills passed into law at this session of the General Assembly. I will not be providing a report on all those.
Thank you.
There are 5 that we felt were important to share with the board because of the nature of the law or the impact that it may have on the work that you do as members of the Board of Trustees. The first item is a routine matter related to state-appointed boards, and that is Public Chapter 294. That law extends the Austin Peay State University Board of Trustees to June 20th, 2021, and creates a new sunset provision for that date. The sunset provision is a routine legislative mechanism that establishes a time frame on the existence of boards, commissions, and departments, and is intended to hold state-appointed boards accountable to the General Assembly. The original law that established all of the locally governed institutions' Board of Trustees had the sunset date on June 30th, 2019. So during this legislative session, President White and board leadership appeared before both chambers of the General Assembly to justify the continuance of the Board of Trustees. The same thing occurred with all of the other boards of trustees and presidents from the other locally governed institutions. The enactment of this law means that on or before June 20th, 2021, there will be a similar hearing at the General Assembly. At that time, if approved, the law will be amended for the board to sunset at another time, likely for a longer period of time, since the board will have been in existence and have more experience at that point in time. The second item that we wanted to bring to your attention is Public Chapter 402 that has been titled Michelle's Law. This law extends a 25% tuition discount to every child under 24 years of age whose parent died while employed as a full-time certified teacher or a full-time technology coordinator in a Tennessee public school system. This provision is similar to others that provide discounts or fee waivers for children of current or retired public school teachers or technology coordinators, employees of public higher education institutions or the state of Tennessee, dependents of current or retired state employees or state employees killed in the line of duty, children of veterans who were killed in the line of duty, senior citizens, and individuals who are totally disabled. In total, these discounts and waivers at Austin Peay equal about $2 million annually. Of that amount, about $1.8 million is not funded by the state. So that does have an impact on finances for the university. The next item is Public Chapter 507, the Tennessee Sports Gaming Act. This law authorizes online sports betting, and it does create some challenges for collegiate athletics. Per NCAA rules, student athletes cannot aid gamblers by providing information that may impact the outcome of a game. For example, as a scenario, if a student athlete answers a question about whether a specific injured player will play in tomorrow's game from someone who is gambling on that game, the student athlete may have unknowingly risked his or her eligibility by aiding a gambler. The folks in our Department of Athletics will be providing additional information about compliance with NCAA regulations in this new environment to all student athletes through correspondence and meetings and training and education. They will be adding a graduate assistant compliance officer to the staff to assist with this process. The final 2 bills relate to student well-being. The first is Public Chapter 455. This law requires us to develop and implement a suicide prevention plan that identifies procedures related to suicide prevention, intervention, and postvention. This is an issue that Student Affairs had actually been working on for a long time prior to passage of the law. The staff in counseling and health services and student conduct and case management are working together to ensure that our efforts comply with the new law and that information about all the provisions are circulated to the campus community. The final law is Public Chapter 266. It requires us to designate a staff member to serve as a homeless student liaison to assist homeless students who are enrolled at Austin Peay. The liaison will assist homeless students in applying for and receiving federal and state financial aid and services. The law also requires that we develop a plan to provide enrolled homeless students access to housing during and between academic terms. And we have designated individuals to fill the role of liaison, identified a mechanism for identifying students who are considered homeless, and confirmed that students appearing on the report as homeless will receive housing as requested. I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have any at this time.
Thank you very much. Do we have any questions for Carol? Yes. Trustee McAllister Brooks.
On the topic of the last issue that you brought up, or the last reform that you brought up, I know with a lot of students that homelessness is a very touchy and private issue. So how are we going to be working to keeping the anonymity of those students as they are trying to apply to get that aid?
So I'll step in here. So Trustee McAllister Brooks, the law just passed and was signed a few days ago. And so there will be a liaison assigned to help with this. And frankly, we don't have the structure in place yet to see how we'll do it. But certainly we'll make a note of your concerns because you're absolutely right. And so we will make sure that those concerns are considered in the process of trying to help and assist people who need a place to go. And there are also other students who need help that are not those identified by this law. But for instance, you may have an international student who has no home to go to, even though that person is not necessarily homeless. Going back to Brazil may be a tough time at the holidays. So there may be a way to do it just by asking the question, who does not have the ability to go home, when you're not really tying it to a homeless person. So thank you for the comment, and we'll work on that.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Carol? Thank you so much for that report. Next, I'd like to recognize President White to give us her report.
Thank you, Trustee Kanata. You saw a lot of heart today in today's spotlight, and I want to show you some more. But I first wanted to introduce some leaders here today with us, some appointments that have occurred since our last meeting. One is Dean Tucker Brown, if you'll stand, the new Dean of the College of Behavioral and Health Sciences. We're really delighted to have you as a permanent member of the team. And then also Dean Barry Jones for the College of Arts and Letters. We're thankful to have your service also as a part of the permanent team. Both Dean Jones has been serving about a year and a half, I think, in an interim capacity and has done a stellar job. And so we're really happy to have his continued service. And then Dean Brown served as the chair of the sociology department. And the interesting thing about both of these gentlemen, they both have served recently as presidents of the Faculty Senate. And it's just a testament again that at Austin Peay, the Faculty Senate is very functional, as is the Staff Senate. And so there are a lot of interactions and conversations among faculty and staff leaders and administrators. And then there's some cross-pollination, of course, as we see. And then I'm going to introduce Dr. Cruz in a moment. So at the last board meeting, you heard about our Geographic Information Systems, or GIS, program. That center and the community outreach it provides really provide a lot of services to our community. You heard about mapping events and participating in manhunts and working to support disaster relief when those things occur. Today, you heard how social work students are applying the knowledge they learn inside the classroom to real life situations outside the classroom, and they're making a positive difference in the lives of others. So what was very meaningful today is you heard from Amir, whose life has really been impacted by the service, and not just service, but knowledgeable service, informed service provided by a student and professor, and then of course also the court system. But a lot of what I want to focus on today is not only the service to the community, but what it does to the student. When you heard from Jacqueline, you heard a person passionate about her future, passionate about her calling, I would say. And participating in this event will make her better at what she's going to do in the future. And we have a lot of those experiential components, and I want to share some of those with you that are in action across campus. So during the academic year, the College of STEM, and I know we have Dean Meisch here as well today, I believe. She's in the back also, but wave your hand. So Dean Meisch from the College of STEM hosts Science Outreach Days and a STEM Expo with the Clarksville-Montgomery County School System. I tried to reach her to answer a question that seemed like an urgent question to me, but it really wasn't. And I couldn't reach her, and I'm thinking, where is she? Where is she? Well, she couldn't answer because she was with 180 elementary students in some classroom doing experiments. And so I'm glad you didn't call me back. You were really, really busy. But they bring that expertise to our community. The Erickson College of Education, led by Dean Prentice Chandler, and just wave your hand, Dean Chandler, that College of Education works with College of STEM, and they've completed multiple STEM outreach activities with various grades, most recently with Kenwood Elementary fourth graders and Sango Elementary first graders. Over the summer, the College of STEM will be working with Clarksville Parks and Recreation to conduct STEM events at all movies in the parks, and will host a STEM zone at Riverfest in September. The college hosts the Governor's School for Computational Physics for 50 high school students in the summer. That allows potential students to learn from our faculty about how to tackle realistic problems in the field of science and engineering. A number of those students have perfect ACT scores, and they come from all over the state. And we keep some of them, and some are foolish enough to go to MIT or somewhere like that. But anyway, it's a great opportunity to have them on campus. During tax season, the IRS sponsors the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program, or VITA, which provides free tax preparation for the community through the use of IRS certified volunteers. We just completed our second season of hosting a VITA site on APSU's campus in the Service Learning Building. So over the last 2 years, 46 College of Business students, and where is Dean Hepner? Wave your hand. So led by Dean Hepner and his accounting professors, those students volunteered and assisted community members in preparing their tax returns. A lot of people can have some challenges with that, and they get really expert help for the level of tax preparation help they need. The Clarksville-Montgomery County Community Health Foundation awarded nearly $15,000 to the Austin Peay State University Foundation through the Matthew Walker Grant for the 10th consecutive year. So that's about $150,000 over a 10-year period, and it benefits the School of Nursing students, but has a great benefit to our community. The funds allow a nurse practitioner from our nursing faculty to provide primary care for approximately 250 diabetes patients at the Clarksville site of the Matthew Walker Comprehensive Health Center. Our senior nursing students support these activities and the plan of care by conducting patient care calls and diabetes education classes focused on motivating all patients to adhere to a medication regimen, monitor their blood sugar levels regularly, and to change their lifestyles to prevent diabetes-related complications. So what happens is you've got the nurse practitioner providing primary care services. Our students go to the homes of these patients. And the life of a diabetic can be a very good one if you have good preventive and then maintenance care throughout. But if they don't take their meds, if they don't monitor their sugar, if you have any kind of lapse, as you all know, the consequences can really be dire. So we're talking about the difference in some cases of patients getting into situations where they have limbs removed and they have organ failure. And so our students are actually the ones who are going to the homes and saying, let me help you with this. Okay, your levels are up. So let's make sure, do you have your medicine? Did you get it refilled? And so they're putting that nurse practitioner's activities on the ground, which is very, very important. This fall, undergraduate students and counseling students in the psychological science and counseling program will partner with the social work faculty on the program that you heard about this morning, mentoring young people in a juvenile justice system initiative. That's also important work because it's not just social work. That particular initiative actually could eventually end in a partnership with psych students, social work students, sociology students, health students. I mean, you see a lot of cross interventions that could occur in this kind of opportunity and program. The Erickson College of Education and Burt Elementary School have a dynamic partnership as well. Faculty members support students and teachers by assisting in the STEM lab, preparing for state assessments, offering behavioral support, and supporting literacy efforts. Education students have tutored students in reading and math. They've read to students, and they've led activities for families at events in the community. During the holidays, students and faculty there in our College of Education donated more than 80 pairs of shoes. I've never seen a pair of shoes. 80 pairs of shoes to the children of Burt Elementary. Both the Erickson College of Education and Burt Elementary School benefit tremendously as a result of that partnership. Earlier this spring, something I'm very excited about, the Clarksville-Montgomery County School System and APSU launched the Early Learning Teacher Residence Program. That will provide 20 recent high school graduates and 20 CMCSS teachers' aides with an accelerated free path to becoming full-time school system teachers in just 3 years. This will be a national model. The students, known as residents, primarily will be placed in kindergarten through second grade classrooms, with a smaller number going to third through fifth grade, where they'll help expert instructors teach and plan lessons. While the students are working as residents in 5 local elementary schools, they'll pursue a Bachelor of Science degree in education through a newly focused and tailored program at Austin Peay. This is really important too, because what you don't want to happen is that education student getting to that final contact with students as a senior and finding out he or she doesn't want to be a teacher. So if you've got these students working in the classrooms early on, they'll know if they're suited for that. The Center for Excellence for Creative Arts has arts experiences grants that make the arts accessible to all K-12 CMCSS students while supporting local and regional arts organizations. In the last year, SECA sponsored 11 school groups, including ticket and bus transportation costs, to experience the arts at Customs House Museum, Roxy Regional Theater, and the Nashville Opera. In addition, SECA is in a formal partnership with CMCSS through the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts Partners in Education program. The program provides meaningful professional teaching and learning on arts integration to K-12 educators, K through 12 educators. A Kennedy Center teaching artist came to Clarksville and hosted classroom lessons and a workshop for 25 teachers. Additional professional learning opportunities will be offered at the CMCSS's Engage Summer Conference. And I want to introduce Dr. Janice Cruz, who is the executive director of the SECA program. And Dr. Cruz brings an energy and creativity to SECA that we really, really needed. And I'll just tell on her too, she is an outstanding and expert oboe player. I was stunned the first time I heard you play. I guess I shouldn't have been surprised, but the Community School for the Arts, also under Dr. Cruz's direction, offers classes in visual arts, music, dance, and theater to the community. Over the spring semester, the school received a grant from the Tennessee Arts Commission, which allowed them to offer 2 sessions of a class entitled Writing for Military Families. The course gave active duty and veteran families, personnel and their families, opportunities to write about their lives to help foster self-expression and healing. Author and publisher Shanna Thornton taught the classes. We have many grant programs that support the community and our students. The Educational Opportunities Center and Tri-County Upward Bound program impact more than 1,500 high school and post-high school students, providing educational, career, and financial aid counseling to qualified participants. Our Veterans Upward Bound program assists qualified veterans with the admissions and financial aid processes for returning to college. The Tennessee Small Business Development Center impacts 100 small businesses and hosts events to help individuals reach their entrepreneurial goals. Many of our faculty are involved in the community outside of their normal teaching schedule. You saw one today. 3 of our art and design professors serve on art and sculpture committees. And Elliot's on one of those, so he's interacting quite a bit with some of your folks, Dean Jones. They serve on committees including the Nashville Public Art Committee and the Montgomery County Public Sculpture Committee. And this past academic year, 3 of our faculty members in the Languages and Literature Department volunteered to teach 2 classes at the Lois DeBerry Special Needs Prison in Nashville. These are just a few highlights of a lot more that's going on at your university and our university. Students who participate in these learning activities are preparing themselves to be your employees, to be our service members. They're learning about our community. They're learning firsthand the value of serving others. And frankly, you all are examples of that. You are all here taking your vacation time, in some cases taking time away from your businesses, your practice, because you believe in service. And I think that is a model that you would understand because you live that kind of life. And it's important that our students and our faculty and staff also have those same opportunities and be valued and recognized for them. But this also helps their learning, the students' learning. Our students learn to think critically. They become higher level learners. That's outlined in Bloom's taxonomy. Faculty know that taxonomy very well, but I'll just give you a brief overview. They're thought to be 6 hierarchical levels of learning. So if I write my speech and I just memorize it and give it back, that's a fairly low level of learning. However, if I can apply it, if I can understand it, if I can analyze it appropriately, if I can synthesize and grasp interconnections among ideas, and then if I can really make informed strategic decisions and hopefully create new knowledge, then I've moved quite a bit higher and I've brought a lot more value to that community, to that employer, and then to my own life. And so some of the work that's being done at Austin Peay is really designed to move students along that Bloom's taxonomy continuum. They will have needed cognitive skills and practices to live productive lives, be prepared for a lifetime of work, even in times that the nature of work is shifting. Don, I was at your place the other day, and I'm actually in his place, but anyway, we were at the auto dealership the other day. This might surprise you, but I used to change my own oil. My dad taught me as young, so for maybe 7 or 8 years till I had money to afford to pay somebody, I changed my own oil. I changed tires. There is no way I could go to your dealership and figure out what they're doing. It's like going into the STEM computer science lab. Work changes, and it's really important that students be prepared for a life where work changes, and that's what we're trying to do. Ultimately, our relationships with our community not only benefit the students, but they also require a lot of investment from community leaders. The folks you heard from today from the county judge and the county judicial system, they put a lot of time and effort not only in assisting the folks going through the juvenile justice system, but they invested in our student mentors along with Dr. Thompson to make sure that they had the guardrails around that program for safety for all participants, to make sure that the outcomes were followed. And so if we talk about the community investment, it's also significant. They're investing and pouring themselves into the lives of our students. As a university, we're committed to being productive stewards of place. This is our town. This is our community. This is our state. This is our region. And I really believe we have a great obligation to be that steward of place where we make it better. And so partnering with the community and being a positive force for our community is something that I want to show you regularly as you see what impact Austin Peay has as an institution. And I think that you can be proud of it. If you'll notice in your books, after the green tab B, you'll see a list of interim items. Those are contracts. that have been signed since the last meeting, over $50,000. And then also some other interim items. One, I'll just note now, and then I'll give you time to ask me any questions you have. But we have hired Lanisa Williams as our full-time Chief Diversity and Chief Diversity Officer / Title IX Coordinator. She begins July 1. She was moving to town in the next few days. She comes to us from University of Evansville, and I will introduce her formally in the fall. So I'm happy to take any questions that you have over contracts, interim items, or my remarks today. And just as you're looking, I do want to say thank you for the opportunity to lead Austin P another year. It's the highest honor of my life other than marrying my sweet husband. And we are partners in our work here. And I'm very grateful for the senior leadership team that I have. I'm grateful for every faculty member, every director, every department chair, every student, every admissions counselor. The work that goes on outside of this room every day is absolutely extraordinary. And I'm very grateful for the opportunity to work with them.
Thank you, President White. Any questions for these materials or for President White? Yes.
No, I just, Madam Chairman, I'd like to make a comment.
Yes.
Yesterday at our Business Finance Vice President Mitch Robinson presented the new organizational chart. On behalf of the board, I'll take this opportunity to congratulate all those university people that moving up the ladder and increased responsibilities and willing to take on additional obligations. So we appreciate all of you and congratulations for moving up the ladder.
Thank you. Could I say who those are? Yes. Vice President Whiteside, Assistant Vice President Carol Clark. So thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you all. Any other comments, questions? No. I've got two reminders. The first is that the Board of Trustees and the trustees of other public higher education institutions will be meeting at a statewide professional development event in Memphis on August 15th and 16th. Make sure it's on the calendar for all of us. Also, be reminded that our next regularly scheduled meeting will be September 19th and 20th. Again, make sure it's on your calendars. I move that we adjourn the meeting. Do we have a second? It is moved and seconded that the meeting will be adjourned. All in favor say aye. All opposed.